Paul here from Takroc Music. Today I wanted to talk about a real quick and easy way to adjust volume on on any of the tracks that you have in your mix. Now normally you would hit automation or the A key, and then you would go to your volume, and then you would make your volume adjustments in here, moving your points up and down to determine where you wanted the higher and lower volumes on your track. That works fine, but the only issue with that is it moves the slider up and down, so you are unable to make any other adjustments. The automation will override anything that you do. So for example, if you turn it up to start, hit play, it's going to move it to that point that you have set in the volume automation. Now this can cause a little bit of a problem if you want to take the pattern that you've created for, in this case I just got an organ and a loop pack that I put together. If you wanted it a little more intense in one section and a little bit lower in another, and you've got that perfectly set out the way you want it, if you want to take that whole pattern and increase that pattern in volume or decrease it in volume to sit it into your mix, you have to come back into this automation points and start messing around with the points. You can use the trim button here, but then that becomes sort of a little disruptive in the whole scheme of trying to mix. Like for me, I like to just be able to come down to the sliders, make adjustments, and continue on. So I've got another easy way to do this, which makes it a little bit easier, and it frees up this slider. So you simply put a gain plug in right into the last point of your channel here. So as you can see, I've got a gain here. Then you go back into your automation by hitting A. So this is the way it normally looks. I'm going to hit the A key, and it opens up the automation. You select the track that you want to work on. Now in this case it's got volume, so if you hit the little down selection box here, you can see that the gain plugin is right here. So now we move over here and we select gain. Now we can start putting in points on the gain plugin. So let's just do that. So we can hit a point here and here, and let's say we want this to reduce a little bit, and then let's say here and here we want to increase, and then let's say over here we want to decrease a bit here, and then slowly decrease, and whatever, I'm just making this up as we go. And then let's say from here to here we want to increase this, and then from here to here we want to sort of lower it down like that, something like that. I'm just making this up as I go, but let's say that's the pattern that you want for the organ and it fits nicely into your track. But then when you start mixing, if this whole pattern is a little bit too loud, now you can just adjust the volume control and it will keep the same pattern here. So let's give that a try and I'll show you what I mean. As you can hear, the organ went louder and softer as our automation. If you watch the gain plugin here, this moved around. Now let's say that whole pattern was a little not quite loud enough for the mix. Now we don't have to touch any of this automation because we've got the pattern the way we like it. We just simply come down here to the slider and we can just increase and decrease this as we want. So I'll give you an idea of how that works. So as you can see, we can just make main adjustments on the volume slider down here, and that just increases and decreases the volume of the pattern that we have already programmed using the gain plugin. So this makes workflow a lot simpler, a lot easier, and the flow is much better and it's less disruptive. And I find this is the best way to do that. Now you will have some restrictions on if you put the gain up too high, you may get some distortion. So there is a limitation, but just for increasing and decreasing volume ever so slightly back and forth just to fit it in, I think this is a great way of doing things. So I hope you found that helpful, and thanks for watching. A lot of times YouTube will bring you my videos even though you haven't subscribed. If you like what you see, please take a moment to subscribe and ring the bell.